Hey everyone, it's your girl Alfia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's been a minute, and I know you guys were probably looking for me. And I just wanted to come on here and say thank you guys so much. I got a lot going on right now with work and catching up on sleep and watching movies here and there. And today I really got a good rest in, and I had finished a movie, and then I took a long nap, and then I was back up again. So, I want to cover some movies. Okay. So, I did a review with shoot, hold on. I'm kind of tongue tied. I did I did a review with Jennifer Woods. If you haven't already, please check out her channel. She's a good reviewer. She was one of my former admins on my Lifetime page. Right now, I want to talk about some things about VC Andrews. So I've been watching some of her movies, and I want to watch more, but there is so much to unpack from Flowers in the Attic, Petals of the Wind. It's so many things that VC Andrews has written, and then to find out that somebody else had to help her write because she passed on, sadly, in 1986, December 19th, 1986. And she was 63. She was born June 6, 1923. If you haven't already, also check out her books. I just recently purchased one of her books a couple weeks ago. But again, as I said, I do work a lot, so I really don't have a lot of time to read as much. But I wanted to come on here and just do a review on it. So VC Andrews movies that I had just recently watched was Petals in the Wind. I'm trying to remember all of them all together. Flowers in the Attic. There's a 1980s version, and then there's like a 2014 version, and then it's Petals in the Wind, If There Be Thorns, Seeds of Yesterday. Y'all, all these movies are crazy, but they are so good. They keep you on the edge of your seats, and it's a must watch. VC Andrews deserved her flowers, and I hope she got them when she was alive. They said they're not based on true stories, but I beg to differ. I don't know, but no shade to none of the family, but the stories are good. And Seeds of Yesterday, in the end, if you haven't watched it, it's going to be a major spoiler. How Chris died is kind of like how their father died. If you don't remember, it's 4 young kids that go into the attic. And their mother tells them, she's basically, after their dad died, he married her. She's basically like a beauty queen, and she doesn't really know anything. She doesn't know how to do anything. So they travel to Virginia, and they go home, and then Corinne is their mother. And Corinne was an awful person, because in the beginning, she wasn't awful to her kids. She really loves her kids. And she was money hungry. So she went back home and got father's forgiveness and inherited his money. And in Petals of the Wind, her daughter got her revenge. And it's kind of weird how she got her revenge. She got her revenge by sleeping with her mother's second husband, which is her stepfather. And her stepfather didn't know who she was because he never knew anything about her. So Kathy sleeps with her stepfather, Bart. And she seduces him, and he doesn't know anything about it. And she ends up getting pregnant and has his son, and it really goes on to tell the story in the movies. Because in Petals of the Wind, she gets pregnant. In the end, she tells him about it or whatever. And she tells him that she's her mother's child or whatever. And Corinne tries to deny it. And if there be thorns, they are older, a little bit older. And her and Chris, live in another town. They got married, and they never have any kids together. And they have a Jory, and they have Bart. Jory is from Kathy's relationship she had in New York with the guy that she met. He was a dancer like her, and they end up having relationships, and they got married. Well, not got married. They had a child together. And Corinne has 2 baby daddies, And even though Chris takes care of the children, they know that he's not the father. And Jory's grandmother is still in his life. And poor Bart, he doesn't really know that much about his dad. And if there be thorns, there's a neighbor that moves next door. And guess it's not just any neighbor, it's their grandmother. And they don't know it's their grandmother. And she ends up telling them. And she ends up dying in the fire like her mother did. And in the end of Seeds of Yesterday, Kathy ends up staying in the house after her husband dies, in the house that they all was in the attic in. Because the house did originally burn down. I don't know if it burned all the way down, but I know that Bart had it remodeled or whatever to kind of be like the old house. There's a lot of twists and turns and Flowers in the Attic, Petals on the Wind, If There Be Thorns, Seeds of Yesterday. They were all good movies. 10 out of 10 for all of them. It's just very sad how Corinne raised those kids after her husband tragically passed in Flowers in the Attic. And then she went back home to Virginia to get her father's approval for money, and she didn't tell him about the kids. It's just a lot, and I love that they did a background on all of before the Flowers in the Attic. It was called The Origin. If you haven't watched Origin, please watch Origin. The Origin was good also too. And Corinne was the only surviving child of Malcolm because her two brothers died. Because if you watch The Origin, it tells like what happens. I think one died in an accident, the other one just ran off because he was in love with another man and his dad was not for it. So and in those times you weren't supposed to be the same sex, so it was a lot going on. And we also find out, hold on, Corinne has another sibling too, because Malcolm slept with, well, he didn't sleep with her, he groped one of the maids, and they had a daughter. Because it said in The Origin, if you haven't watched Origin yet, that's a major spoiler alert. It also tells more about it too. It's just a lot. It is really deep. And I know the books go into more details, so that's what I'm looking forward to more of. But if you haven't watched Flowers in the Attic, Petals on the Wind, Seeds of Yesterday, If Thorns Be With Thee. Okay, I just said that wrong. It's Flowers in the Attic, Petals in the Wind, If There Be Thorns, and Seeds of Yesterday. Those are all of the movies. And they also have 1986, 85, 84, one of those years. And it is way different from the one they did in 2014 of Flowers in the Attic. And if you also haven't read the books too. That's all I have today for the reviews. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss any of my updates. And thank you so much for tuning in.